Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
And now, how's the sound doing?
Sound's doing fine.
Are you sure about that? Oh, I'm sure. What was that question?
I don't know. How would I win by lying to you?
How does this not work? All right, you're back. Everything's fine.
All right.
Okay. I have something very important to tell you. No, not. Hey, I'm bringing back. What do you think? Not.
That's what I think.
No, I like it. No, wait, listen to it one more time.
Okay.
Ask me if I've done my homework.
Have you done your homework this week, Andy?
Absolutely. I finished. Not.
I like it. I like the sort of Tourette's-like edge you bring to it.
Did you like when Brian Setzer brought it back of the Stray Cats? When he brought it back for a commercial? And he said, not. That was the first time I remember it coming back after its original time.
Yeah. I haven't been tracking it the same way you have, I guess.
Oh, no. I'm talking about when Wayne's World came out.
Ah.
As I'm remembering this.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
Oof. What's happening?
Oh, I sent the El Checo to Josh.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then there's a hilarious thing I did with it. I wrote thank you on the paper.
My business manager will get a warm feeling from that.
Oh, he's going to love it. I go, dear one of Josh's suits. Huh? Okay. Yeah. And I said, you happy now?
That's good.
Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point.
For what? Question mark.
And I did this funny thing. I said, if you don't produce my child, I will send $10,000 to you every month until you return my family.
Uh-huh.
I'm going on a flight of fancy now.
You are.
I had so many questions. Well, some of the questions that I had to ask you were not questions, and some of them were not asking you. They were like,
wow. So nothing is what you're saying.
No, well,
there was nothing there.
No, I wouldn't say that.
All right.
I wouldn't say that. Okay. I would say that, no.
You keep hinting at an agenda that I don't think is really there.
Yeah, don't get me. Yeah. Watch out or I'll do it. I'm threatening you with a lackluster performance. No, I watched 2 shows. The Severance, which we talked about, which was excellent.
That's good.
I saw the final, and then the one with Will Ferrell, and it's very good.
It's like Ferrell, the therapist next door or something.
Yes, because I heard the shrink next door. Because I've always had I've had jealousy towards Paul Rudd, and here's the reason why I've had jealousy for him. Why was I not the handsome guy who got a lot of roles?
Yeah.
In the 90s. Why wasn't I his age, handsome? Why does he get them all?
Yeah.
That was my view towards him.
Okay.
Which I don't think was particularly generous or fair.
Not really fair, no.
It's true, though, if you saw who would be Andy's bête noir, who would be Andy's bête noir, he says it twice, Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
We're both,
that's what makes it crazy.
I know. I mean, I see him kissing Amy Mann. No, he wasn't kissing Amy Mann. Let's say he was kissing Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
In a movie. I went, how come that can't be me? Actually, one time he made me laugh very much was, I don't know if this is 40 or something where he drops acid or something.
Yeah.
No, it's not This Is 40. It's one of the 2 hits. What's the hit where he goes with Steve Carell's character to take mushrooms? And then it's a very funny scene.
Was that 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So, so then I was like, you know what, Andy? After it's all said and done, we're both very old men, right? We're both.
I think he's more my age than your age, though.
It's like I say, as I'm saying, you will always make things too age specific.
Yeah.
I said Pacific again without it being a joke. No. I don't know. I'm telling you, honestly, it used to bother me that I never thought that he made me laugh that much.
Yeah.
Except for that movie where he was in with, where I just told you, I forgot. But he's very good they're both good as Long Island Jews, and I'm from Long Island, so I kept going, do these guys, are they doing the accent right, or does it just sound like butter to me? Because I'm from but I don't think Will Ferrell's, where are they from, those two, do you know?
I don't know.
I think Will Ferrell's more like Chicago or something like that. But it was just, they both got the...
Do you feel like he's playing it in Jew face, though?
Is that how have you heard the accent?
No, I'm asking. I haven't seen the show.
No. I think it was, they did an excellent job. But I'm wondering if someone's going to say it was a little, that their accents were too much, but I didn't think so. Will Ferrell, I really like his acting. I'm saying some very edgy things today.
You really
Ferrell's
are.
A good actor.
You're jealous of Paul Rudd.
Well, no, I said I let that go finally.
Okay. Well, but just last night, it seems like.
Yeah, just last night. No, I was a roundabout way of saying I enjoyed his performance. His performance was he plays a guy. And I had listened to the original podcast, so he does an excellent job. Because on the original podcast, you hear both the guy and you hear his sister's voice. So it was really, I thought they just did an incredible job with it.
Yeah. Well, good.
And so, not only did they do an incredible job with it, but I remembered things about the podcast that I didn't even remember having listened to it. And then that made me realize, this was a really great podcast. And they made a decent thing out of it. A very good thing. I'm afraid to say that I like it. I'm afraid to say I like something.
Well,
because someone will prove me wrong and be like, question 270. That show's 271.
Have some fucking conviction then.
Okay. Do yourself a favor. Stop, run, don't walk. Run, don't walk to your television and watch Paul Rudd pull off a performance. Bafo says, why am I, it's not a variety thing. Hi, I'm Andy Kindler. Hi. Who's the guy who got hit by the car who was doing reviews all the time? Stephen King. I could be like him. Here's your Uncle Stevie saying, did he used to have that kind of a avuncular? You never read his reviews?
Not really, no.
Entertainment Weekly. He was a regular in Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah. I stopped liking Entertainment Weekly a long time ago.
Me too. I stopped liking it a long time ago, but then 10 years after that, I stopped putting it into my speech in Montreal because literally nobody knew what I was talking. What's the deal with Entertainment Weekly getting so excited about some kind of a thing?
Check out Gleberman this week.
More like not so gleeful men.
Huh. And you dropped that shit out of the speech. Crazy.
Oh, now that's another thing, is that Robin Tran called me up very upset about the whole thing and saying, my life is not a joke for you two assholes, especially the one guy who...
That's weird because she liked the tweet.
Oh. Well, no, you think people are going to... Oh, God, forget it. The bit was... You're not going to get the rest of the bit now. The bit ends with, no, I'm serious. I'm really in a big fight with Robin Tran. And then 5 minutes later, I go, am I up? Am I still awake? Okay, I won't do that either.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then the other thing was good that I saw the final thing on, which was Severance. And I would say that Ben Stiller did an excellent job. Look, I hate to be controversial. He did a damn good job. He did a bang-up job on this thing.
That's good.
And then the other thing I was thinking of, boy, he's doing such a good job. He followed me again.
We're talking about this again.
I guess more work is right around the corner, right?
This is the third or fourth time in a month you've told me that Ben Stiller has followed you again.
No, I think, is it very, very desperate now, or do you think one more week to bring it home?
I don't think this is going to get funny again.
Well, then you're saying that
it's just one of those psychological dead ends where you're just showing.
Are you telling me my repeating bits have been funny previously?
It wasn't a bit. It was, I think you're showing incredibly weird amounts of pride that Ben Stiller is following you.
I think the weird amount of pride is like the fact that I could be just doing anything else during the day, and I would go, you know what? You know what's not bad? Ben Stiller seems to still enjoy what I'm doing.
It seems like it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, but Andy, I thought you told Josh that the last time you saw him, he seemed to look through you. Just because he was literally talking to someone through me? and seem to be making responses with the person. I begin to think now that
You were interrupting.
do you think that I'll ever overcome this? First of all, you have never once said that we're living on a crazy blue marble. Not once have we ever used that.
Not yet.
Do you know that they couldn't use that before the moon series of shots? They never had taken a picture of the Earth before.
Uh-huh.
Am I making this up, or does it sound like some?
Well, that was the first time they got a picture of the whole thing. Yeah.
And they were saying, and no,
They were totally into it. Yeah.
Yes. You don't. You're telling me you don't see those strings on that? You don't see the strings on that picture,
Right.
You're telling me this is the world's stupidest conspiracy theory. Oh, you believe that picture of the world? I guess because you're an idiot. You really think the world is round? Stupid. No, I don't think that. I don't think conspiracy theorists of this mean. Actually, they're usually nicer.
Yeah.
Right. Come to Area 51.
You're all are welcome.
I'm kind of in a good mood, Josh. How kind of a mood are you in?
I'm
so
in kind of the
It's just-
opposite end of the spectrum today. I'm feeling a little hopeless today across
And-
in every category except for perhaps my marriage. My marriage feels solid. But
Oh, that's when you really have to worry.
Yeah,
Because you should see what she's. Have you been looking at her Facebook account? Did she has pictures of you like in a voodoo thing? There's a voodoo thing.
Yeah.
And then she says this one thing about it's interesting that his name is Josh and yet he's never made me laugh.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking off to the side so you don't get too upset with me.
I'm not so upset, especially
Disappointed?
knowing that somebody still has your Facebook account.
Isn't that still a point that you could still scare someone who suffers from OCD by going, so things are going pretty well. So they haven't resurfaced yet with your account.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
I think
it's
you're the
still-
one who should see what's being said on Facebook.
No, I don't think so. I think my account is lost somewhere. And everybody, maybe some people saw it and they said, you know what? Some pretty embarrassing things he said in the past. Let's keep it buried and hidden,
Yeah.
People are not rushing to.
There's a conspiracy of silence.
That's the worst. If you were a conspiracy
Those
theorist.
are the best conspiracies, by the way. Those are my favorite.
The ones of silence?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's hard to prove.
No, it's just everyone's quiet about it.
I still love the idea that I would have been one of those guys in Goodfellas who all of a sudden bought like a Lamborghini.
I absolutely think there would have been an Andy and a meat locker scene for sure.
Oh, I see it both ways. I see me as spending it and also being as annoying as the one guy who was Jewish, I think, in that movie.
Yes.
I'm not saying they picked but he happened to be a very, very money-oriented Jewish person. He was more money savvy than he was a wise guy savvy.
Yes, I would say that's true.
And when I saw that part, any part like that, I always see myself in. I'm that guy.
That is actually a part you truly could have played. The annoying Jew. Annoying Jew in Goodfellas could have absolutely. But you would have to be this age now to do it.
Look, come on. Would you ask? I can't think. Why we can't pretend that one of the guy's names is the name of Henry Winkler's. Henry. Okay. Look, Henry. His name is Henry. Henry Hill.
Uh-huh.
Henry Hill, right?
Yes, not Winkler.
Henry Hill.
Correctamundo.
I was looking. You've told me about the James Bond movies, and I looked back, and you'd mentioned them to me, and I said I just don't think this. And I'm not saying this to say that I am gay or have tendencies, but there's nobody handsomer than Sean Connery. He just isn't even. He was the sexiest man in the world. There's just no. You know what I'm saying? I got horny.
Yeah.
Watching the. No, I don't get horny. That's a lie. But he just looks dashing. I mean, he looks like more dashing than even Roger Corman was when he played. Roger Chandler. No, that was the comedian. Total blank. That's what I was going for. Total blank.
Yeah, it's Roger Moore.
And I'll also say this to you,
Or in your
Josh,
case, Roger Less is more.
Roger Less is more. Andy Less. You know, this whole idea that I'm the some kind of goon.
Yeah.
The ceiling was collapsing. I'm just thinking, it's like, why do I have to play the dumb guy all the time?
We can switch it up.
Okay, go ahead. You ready?
Yeah, you be smart first.
Ring, ring. Hello.
Hi.
How's it going? How are you doing today?
I don't know what that means, but
you don't know.
Hi.
Hi. I already said hi to you.
Hi,
Andy. Why are you repeating hi again?
Hi.
Look.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do an impression of me. Are you really saying that I'm someone who doesn't listen to somebody else and just
hi?
Okay, now see.
Hi.
No. Do impressions of me, but do more something other than me breaking in says hi. Do something other than that to show my rage.
Adam Carolla. Bah!
Oh, so how'd you think of how I
hi?
How yes, yes, Andy. Okay, Andy. If this makes you happy, hello.
Hi.
Hello. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi. What's up with you?
Adam Carolla. Bah!
It's not that really funny. It's me out of touch. It's just so dead on. Hi. I'm working on my highs today, Josh.
Hi.
Okay, that's good. What else you got? Don't pressure me. Don't pressure me, Josh.
Hi.
Okay, now I'm going to do your voice now.
Okay,
here's me. No, Andy, that's not why people hate you. That's not it either. No, you wish it was because of something they did.
Hi.
Can you just stop? Look, I know that you're upset, Andy, that I'm very quiet and refuse to have a conversation
Jabber,
with you.
jabber, 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 hi.
It's kind of got like a Jerry Lewis feel to it.
Yeah.
Hi.
There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a little bit of Mel Blanc doing C.
See?
Sigh.
So.
Hi.
And a podcast interview does not consist of me talking and you, because you're not happy with it, just doing the same bit over and over again. It's not entertaining if you think it's better than what I'm doing, which is just, I'm quiet, Andy. I'm just thinking about things, and I don't feel the need to jump into the conversation. I'm putting you down. This is my putting you down.
I'm feeling it. It's really hitting home.
Oh, yes. As you know.
That got in.
As you know, Andy, I try to look. If you think this is some kind of circus that you can make fun of, that's not what you do. You don't do that, though.
No,
that's not.
I don't think I'm a scold so much.
You don't scold. Can you pass the tissues? Okay, that's the way you do it. You ready to do it now?
Yeah.
That's an Andy Kindler impression. So go ahead. Now you do it. So yes and yes and I don't yes and yes.
Did you watch The Bear? The show The Bear?
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. It's fun.
Did you recommend that? Susan recommended that because and who's in it?
No one whose name sticks out except for Oliver Platt is in it, but as in a supporting role.
Hold on a second. I'm just gonna blow my nose. Woo woo! Oh, it's a safari. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, you know what that sound is? That's the sound of your mom after death reacting to your comedy. Wah, wah. You happy now?
You saved me some time.
Sometimes I do try and predict what the next new Sting is going to be.
Yeah.
Because that's how much my life is.
There hasn't really been a new Sting in a long time, sadly. Though I've still used my 8-track more than you.
That did hurt. That did hurt because I'm about ready to record some stuff right now. It's going to happen in the next month or so.
Hi.
The thing I don't like about that impression of me is that it just seems like there's nothing, like I have no other skill other than just to go in with an annoying, repetitive hi.
Yeah. No, it doesn't
seem.
It's caricature. I'll give you that.
And I will say again. Oh, okay. So what's the subject matter of the
I'm trying
the
to put you into the pantheon of one-syllable impressions.
Who else do you do? One syllable.
Well, see if you can guess. Ugh.
Okay, you got it. Is that the cotton candy grapes lady?
That was Prince.
Oh. I was doing the cotton candy. We got some... Yesterday we got some cotton candy grapes.
That's what I'm here for.
Now, I said to Susan, she goes, should we order them? Because I go, I don't think they're in season right now. But she says, that's not true. The cotton candy grapes are only in season sometimes of the year.
Yeah.
So if they're in the market, that means it implies that they're good.
I don't think that's true, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, how did I get that wrong? It should be the winter, shouldn't it be? Where the best grapes are?
I can't tell you the seasonality. I'm just saying that just because they're in the stores doesn't mean they're good.
Isn't that, yeah, Mr. TV review guy. Haven't you also, but you don't see that not everything is great on TV?
I don't follow the logic. It's not the fact pattern I'm having trouble with.
Right.
Because of our global economy. It's always grape season somewhere.
Right, but in general...
Much like it's always 420 somewhere.
Yes, but in general, I have hewed to the... why is there so much sound like outside? Is that something I'm doing, or you're good?
I don't have any outside going on here.
Well, I feel like I'm outside, so I don't know. I don't know what my problem is. I've had this happen before.
Could be your earphones are going.
It could be the earphones. Okay, but if you're good, I'm good. I mean, I'm not saying that the conversation is going to be better. It is going to be better now.
You think?
You know what? Why am I portraying myself as the bad guy?
I don't know.
Why do I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it? It's time to put. You know what? It's time to put that guy away.
Yeah.
It's time for me to do it. To stop going to the same well.
Yeah. Stop shooting all over yourself.
What'd you say?
I said stop shooting all over yourself.
Oh, shooting. That's right.
Yes.
That's the kind of therapy that would be good. That was like
in the 70s, yes.
In the 70s, yeah. So I said that. I watched Severance, and then the other thing I was going to say was the Mets are doing very well.
What's doing very well?
The Mets are doing very well. It's very exciting.
That is very exciting.
Why is there so much football right now? Is it all preseason?
Yes.
So, okay, so this that's going to start up, but not right this week in September.
September, I believe it starts. Yeah.
Will you get more excited about that?
I'll get more excited than I am now, but it's not going to really go a long way up.
Because November, you start back into the basketball.
That October.
Oh. Okay.
More excited about that. But still not that excited.
Hey, I saw LeBron James' son looking pretty good he looks like he's half the size of his father, so he's probably 6'4" or something like that, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how tall. I think he's closer to 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
I think he's fairly smallish.
Oh, well, that's why.
But maybe not that small.
Yeah. It looks like he might. He might go to the pros or so. I don't know what.
Well, considering his dad is going, I want to play with him in the pros, and I'll do anything to do that. I think some team might just take a shot. Even though he'll be 42 at the time.
Oh, because he's still like early college, maybe, or something like that.
No, he's still in high school.
Oh my God. There's nothing I was doing in high school where my parents said, "Oh, we're proud of you." Yeah, we really did think he was always going to make it, because one time when they all went to see Hair in New York City, and he just didn't stay with the group, and he got mugged. I'm not saying that's made us think he'd make it, but he was always.
High school took you to see Hair?
I think it's worse than that. I think it's junior high school.
What the fuck?
Yeah. How is that even? Can you answer me? How would it even be possible to have seen? Let's say it was 1970.
Yeah.
I'm willing to admit it was 1970. That's 14 years old.
Okay.
That's not high school.
That is high school.
Oh, not the way we do it in New York. Wait, you did the high school?
Well, my things all screwed up because I was skipped grade.
Right. No, I was still I want to say it was more like 69 my bar mitzvah year.
Yeah,
or it could have even been 68.
It couldn't have been 68 if it was Hair. Hair was a big hit. So
yes.
It would have had to have been pretty deep into the run for them to be letting high school groups in.
Maybe they... Are you... Okay, here's the thing.
I hate to be all practical about your shifty memory, but...
Well, no, my shifty memory would be doing tricks on the fact that my shifty memory would not... I
think it's time to admit you were 30 years old when you were mugged and afraid to call your parents.
Well, I was able to ascertain the time of another traumatic event. I'm sure I told you this before. I told you about me getting in trouble for playing around with a New York Mets banner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you look like...
I can't believe you trashed the bathroom like that, by the way. That was so uncool. And then to deny it? Fuck, man.
Wait, how many times have I told the story?
A few.
Okay, I think I have new information on it.
Okay.
All right. The new information on it is that last week I spilled something in the house and freaked out. Not like I'm a bad boy. Not like Lou Costello.
Right.
But I was like, and I had my therapy coming.
Yeah.
And I spilled coffee, and I was like, all right. And Susan's like, it's not a big deal. I said, you say it's not a big deal. You say it's not. So I thought to myself.
So literally, was there milk in the coffee?
There was no milk in the coffee.
So you just.
Yes, I was crying. Susan's line to me was, stop crying over, I mean, she was joking. Stop crying over guilt milk.
Ah, hello, Freud. Hi.
Paging Freud.
Mr. Freud, hi.
Oh, how are you doing, Dr. Freud?
Hi.
Now, you are the father.
I'm sorry, I'm Freud. Hello there.
Yeah. You are the father of modern psychoanalysis. Is that correct?
Hello there.
I got the German the second time. Is that a German impression?
Hello there.
You are the first man up and on the moon. What is your exact position? I am bent over a ladder. So here's what I learned.
Okay.
That I know how old I was when it happened.
Uh-huh.
I had to have been probably 8 or 9 when it happened.
Yeah.
Because the Jets, I was trying to make a Mets banner into a Jets banner, and the next weekend we went to a Jets game, and I asked my dad, "Can I have a Jets banner?" He said, "No,
right,
you can't." You remember that part too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What I learned, now my parents are both dead, right?
I think.
Okay. What I learned from therapy was that my father was probably scared to bring home a new... He was as scared of my mother as I was.
Right.
So he knew I thought he was following the rules of the house or something.
Yeah.
But the look that I could see in his face for how embarrassed he was because he felt bad, and he also felt like if he bought the banner, there could be a big fight at home. And
right.
It totally makes sense to me. That's what I learned just by exploring it again and realizing. I used to think he felt bad that he was not giving it to me because he was following her rules, and he felt like but that's not what the look was.
No, it was, I'm not going to open up this fucking can of worms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the lesson I'm saying to that is that please don't hate my father or my mother. Or you can, I don't care, but no, I would like them to be remembered in peace. but the realization is that my mother was so much more in control of the house from her depression.
Right.
That it. I see now that my dad was scared to go against her because then he would have to pay for it emotionally or something like that.
Right.
That's why he didn't stick up for us.
I'll buy it.
Now I know that
doesn't seem like me picking at it would really serve any purpose.
And that's not a feeling that you can relate to, right? Being that scared of your parents?
No. I mean, I certainly have, there were certainly times where I feared the consequences of my actions, but I felt like there was a basic sense of justice to it all. There wasn't the wild card of mental illness or chemical dependency in my life.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Your mom was, first of all, not that it matters that my mom didn't work, because that's not the point, but I thought that what wasn't standard about my mother was, it was very important for me not to think that my family was out of the ordinary when I was growing up.
Well, I think that's true. I think that's true of everybody. I think every kid gets its worldview from their family.
Right. So when I
unless that's something that your family teaches you, is that there's a bigger world out there.
But it was like the fact that the things that I'm learning, which is not to go back over childhood and torture yourself, but like the fact that my parents, that my dad made the camp open up visiting day early for him and my mother. They came 2 hours before every other family.
Yeah.
For visiting day.
Yeah.
So that was weird, although we were excited to see them. And then they would leave 2 or 3 hours before the other families left.
Huh.
Because my father had to work the next day.
Ah.
So none of the other fathers had to work the next day?
Right.
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I think your parents, both of them, proved willing to put people out.
Yeah, it's true. And
like your department store stories, pretty much spell that out with your mom.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's amazing? Just as you said that, I was so aware of if anything bothered me when I got to the store, which at that time period was fabrics were terrible.
Yeah.
In general, fabrics. You could not wear 50-50 polyester anything back in those days without looking like, they just were, or I had a problem with them. But I thought like...
No, they were ugly times, Andy. They
were ugly times. Well, I'm not comparing myself to the orphanage. Although in the orphanage, at least you wouldn't have my mother, right? You wouldn't have to deal with it.
That's right. By definition.
Well, the thing is that the fact that I could not see that my father was not physically scared of my mother, obviously.
Right.
My mom was like a little tiny thing, but he was as scared as we were of her.
Right.
And he was not able to go.
Yeah, my wife grew up in a house like that.
It was her mother?
Yes. Her mother was the source of most terror. And I would say be above and beyond where your mother went in many ways.
It's probably not the most fun comparison thing, but I bet. Well, first of all, what in the
just in terms of the extremes of the behavior, I would say.
But also in the birth order, I forget where she was.
She was the second of two.
Oh, okay, that's all different, I think, with the second and two. When you have the oldest amongst three, like my sister really got the worst of all of my mother's personality.
Yeah. My brother did too, but my brother asked for it. Like my brother just couldn't see his complicity in the game.
Oh, when he was growing up.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, seeing the complicity in the game I could not see it at all because I was in the drama of you're in the drama of the Love Olympics.
Yeah.
Their goal
I don't know. I've just always been such an observer.
Right.
And because my brother and mother were both big personalities, it was pretty easy to just fly undercover at my house if need be. So my brother would just, would tell my mom something completely inflaming. And then my mother would get completely inflamed. And then my brother would be like, why are you getting inflamed?
Wow. What is tell me the age difference again?
He's 3.5 years older than me.
Yeah. He
was a senior and I was a freshman in high school.
Right. That was exactly. Oh, I can't go by that because you had all kinds of weird.
We both skipped a grade, so no, it's the same.
People would say no, he didn't just bring up that story just so he could say that his brother and him.
I thought that's what you were referring to. That you can't go by that because you have all the different things.
All I know is that my sister, there was nobody smarter than my sister, she got put in the, quote, dumb class by mistake. By some crazy mistake.
And she wasn't smart enough to get herself out?
But the fact that they would call it intelligently gifted children.
Yeah.
I knew I was in that program. You don't think I knew that I was in that program? That I was an intelligently... it's ridiculous. I don't even know. It sounds almost medieval in a way.
Well, I have different things because we had a gifted program at our school, and it really was like the smartest kids in it.
I know but you're talking about like.
But I've heard from a bunch of other people that gifted programs are euphemisms.
For what?
For deficient.
Oh, no, I think that they were, what was deficient back then was the whole way that they, here's the thing that is the worst part of it. It's the people who don't get in the gifted classes who are gifted. That's the tragedy in a way. If you're going to, there's all tragedy, but if you're going to actually use this, they're smarter and then exclude my sister who's the smartest of all of the kids, except for maybe my dad. She's just extremely brilliant.
Your dad's not one of the kids,
right? So I don't know. I think the school felt like military to me back. Like that was must have been way more like that in the schools when I went there than when you went there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I actually came through a good school system, at least at the time. But I also, I still felt like I was in minimum security prison by high school or junior.
Well, our schools. Really. There were things to love about my high school, but that I did love about it. But it was just going. It was like. I think we've talked about this before, or we haven't, but like when I went to school, nobody went to the prom. It was almost like we were more affected by the Vietnam War in practice than the people who were in the Vietnam War who were teaching us. Like I had a lot of teachers in junior high school who were avoiding the draft.
Yeah. By being a teacher?
By being a teacher, yeah. And so that, for example, like when people say check your privilege, let's say you didn't know. You didn't find out later that happened. That's what they mean by check your privilege. They mean that all people couldn't, I would love to go over to Vietnam. I'm doing a 3-year program in the college. I'm very smart.
Right.
And therefore should not be killed.
Right.
They didn't come up with those things because they were right to do it. They did it probably because of pressure or I think Vietnam must have been the first war that people just said, no, well, I'm not going to fucking go to that war.
Yeah.
Even more than Korea.
Yeah, I think Korea, you still had the basic esprit de corps of World War II going for you.
Yeah, even though, I don't know if you've watched MASH, but I don't know if you got a chance to watch MASH, but MASH deals with that whole era.
Yeah, but they deal with it pretending.
In the most fake way.
They made a show about Vietnam by pretending.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I thought it was about Vietnam. I rooted for the North Koreans after watching that show for many years because of all the meatball surgery, basically. I couldn't take the meatball surgery. Hogan's Heroes, they are kind of structured just like MASH. because
they're both sitcoms. They're both sitcoms.
They're both exactly constructed like sitcoms.
Yeah.
I'll send you to the Russian front. Now, what would be the example of that in the other show?
I'll go to R&R in Tokyo.
Do you remember this plot? Who was the first guy? Was the first guy called Trapper John, or am I making it up?
Trapper John, as played by Wayne Rogers.
And did he become Trapper John after the series? No.
Well, there was Trapper John MD in the 80s.
And that was not him.
Different actor, same character.
Okay.
Pernell Roberts from Bonanza.
What are you saying? The conceit was it was a continuation of MASH?
It was a sequel series. It was Trapper John in current and present times as a doctor in San Francisco hospital.
Oh, okay. Well, do you remember the episode where he gets very upset? He's going to pull the. It's the only episode I remember.
It's much better than the other spinoff, Beach.
Beach. So he was. What was the point of that? No, don't stop. Don't help me now.
Okay.
Don't help me now.
All
don't
right.
help me later.
All right. Trapper John.
Yeah, the point was that the meatball surgery. No, the point what I was saying was they had to make it. I was watching the Vietnam War then because I was watching it. Probably when did MASH come on? In the 70s?
Very early 70s. Yes.
Yeah, so that's exactly when I was getting my draft. I was the last year of the draft card in 74.
Yeah.
So I definitely at that point saw that war as a continuation. But it's like, who's that guy?
As a continuation of MASH? What?
No. So I made the wrong point. But who's the guy? Who's the name of the guy who his takeoff is Treat? He's not Tweet Bahara. He's Preet. Is it Preet Bahara? The original.
The
guy?
actual person.
Yes. Is
the
it
New York
Preet?
DA? Preet Bahara. Yes.
I remember. I think I told you this. I remember getting annoyed with him because I was watching some show where he referred to. He was on MSNBC, and he referred to the people who stay out of the war as draft dodgers, and that got me very upset in that moment. Not upset as much as had I been 2 or 3 years older and actually gone to Canada, but to me,
don't you think? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't think they're draft. I think the way you look at those, I would not have gone to Vietnam. I would have gone to Canada. I wouldn't have taken the Muhammad Ali route because I would go to jail. You can't win on I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to win on what's the thing called? Conscientious objector.
Right.
So, but I would never have gone to that war. I was a war resistor, not a draft dodger, is what I would have called myself. So that's a big thing. Is that he's from probably your age, or maybe he is maybe your age.
Maybe.
Preet Bahara.
Yeah.
So the fact that he would use that language, so to him studying it, they obviously were draft dodgers.
Yeah, I think there's a certain. The fact that you take it personally says that there is a difference, but it's still descriptive of people who evaded the draft,
right?
For whatever reason.
Yes, but but that's not. If you call someone a draft dodger.
It certainly has a negative spin.
Right. So
yes, it does. It implies shirking of a duty.
Right. And so I think that makes it nobody that generation who was aware of the issue would say that because they would be the age of people who had to make a decision. My brother, who was the age of someone who had to make a decision, neither me or my brother would have gone to that war because we knew it was fucked up.
Yeah.
And you can't really say that about, they always go, well, it's like.
But you could say that about Afghanistan or Iraq too.
Yes. Well, the thing is this: I used to have a switching and changing position. There was a time period in my life that I used to say, well, if they made everybody do 2 years of some kind of service, it wouldn't have to be anything to do with the war. But then that's easy. The older I would get, I go, well, that's just very easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Because there's no skin off my nose. So I really don't know. I don't have a formed opinion about how it seems like the draft was a fairer way to do the war, but I still creeps me out. The idea that you would just sign up for any war. Like my dad said it'd be different when I was in he goes, if you had been around, because he went to volunteer, he couldn't go.
Yeah.
But he said that you would have had a different view, which I do believe. Because that was the one war of the last couple of centuries where people did feel like you had to go. You really had to go way more than World War I, which was an election. What's it called when you choose something on your own? Electioneering?
Elective?
Elective, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get an argument by you that you don't not to call them. You're not going to argue very much that they were draft dodgers.
No, not at all.
With that word.
I think I already no. I'm not looking. Yeah. I'm not looking for an argument.
I'm not looking for an argument either. I just think it's like weird that you probably don't have that memory in your life of am I going to have to go to somewhere?
Well, I did when during Desert Storm or Desert Shield.
Wait a second. Did you have to sign up? What happened?
Well, everyone has to do selective services, but that was the first time where it's like, okay, we're amassing 500,000 troops somewhere.
Right, but they could have called you up.
Well, they would know it would have taken an act of Congress to reinstate the draft.
Oh, I see.
But there was fear in my generation.
Yes.
Because I was 18 right at that time,
From what I'm remembering,
there were protests in Minneapolis at draft offices and stuff.
Yeah, well, then during the Vietnam War, there was a whole thing because they thought they were actively recruiting on campus.
Yeah.
Which was ROTC?
ROTC was, yes.
And so there's no other time period that we can look at like Vietnam, is what I would say. I used to think every generation had that, but they couldn't have had that.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, too, is the difference between Vietnam, like when you look at what you would do, I mean, your opinion of Vietnam was very much influenced by peer pressure. And so, just the atmosphere, the people you thought were cool were anti-Vietnam. And the people, the kids around you, the popular culture of youth was an anti-war thing. That wasn't the case in World War II.
Right. No question. And, right. I was trying to think of like, what was more scary?
Like you would not have been an outcast in your generation to say, fuck the war, fuck that. You would have been an outcast in 1942. Right.
But you were still, the thing that's so scary about the Vietnam War was like, even at the height, there was still more popular people, I guess it's always every generation maybe, where the people in charge were still kind of all fucked up. Well, it's not true today. That's not true. There's no other analogous time, I think. But it was also happening in the world, too. I grew up during a fucked up period in a way because it was like any kind of other type of form of government was squashed by the Cold War. The Cold War kind of like took over any other way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
But even then, I was my politics were always very progressive. I hated that I hated the Contras. I still think that a lot of our pain has to do with the fact that people like Reagan, that generation, just wouldn't. I think in general, the fact that America is taking so long or hasn't reconciled with its past is holding us down for the future. But that's another theory because I really do think the worst thing in the world that we ever did was the 2004 war. I mean, when you go back from it, you look at that event, how fucked up we didn't have to go and take over Afghanistan. We didn't have to do any of that stuff. And I think it would have been a way different world had we not done that. And of course, that's looking back at the past, but that's 2001. What he decided to do on 2001 and the reaction to that it's like heartbreaking to me. It's heartbreaking, but I know that that's just, you can't do anything about it, but.
Well, I still feel like Afghanistan invasion was more justified than Iraq.
Absolutely. No. I believe, at the time, I believe that we should go in. I'm so afraid to give my political opinion but at least it's safer here because I'm not online.
Right.
Where you'll have Dave Anthony. But the point is, that call, the decisions that they made in 9/11 were the worst. Was maybe the worst decision. The war in 2003, 2004 became the worst decision, maybe ever. I can't think of it as analogous to anything. Well, Vietnam's analogous too, because it's just like Algeria was with the French, and where we would constantly. But
or Afghanistan for the Russians, or soon to be the Ukraine for the Russians,
right? But everybody goes, yeah, we're constantly doing things wrong, but that's not true. The whole world was behind us on Afghanistan. Yeah. If we hadn't declared war on Iraq, I think the world would still, if we had just stayed on the Afghanistan goal of getting him because he was operating from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Because my feeling was if someone from overseas is able to blow up your 3,000 people and you want to stop that from happening.
All right.
That has to be stopped. And so, I feel like that we at any time could have learned that lesson. But that's like, when I think about what's happened in this country, it's hard to not think about it in terms of the constant war with the right wing.
Well, yeah, but the real lesson is you can't make up a bunch of shit as a pretense to invade a country. We didn't make up a bunch of shit for Afghanistan. We did for Iraq.
Yes. So, and in that case, it's something that will last so long around. I mean, it's like we're paying for that now. We'll pay for that our lifetimes, because that wasn't the perception of America when America, I guess it's always been that America's not wanting to take responsibility for its downsides like slavery. So it's never been a strong suit of the Americans to go, you know what, we were fucked up. But it was in the 60s. We were saying, not we, but they were saying we fucked it all up. That was what the anti-Vietnam War was about. And, it's like...
I don't understand your point.
The point is that now, I think it's okay. Here's my only point, because I don't think I was making a clear point. After what happened in the second Gulf War and going into Iraq and allowing all these, and then getting Trump, I think is a buildup that happened that was so much decision of the worst sides, the worst part of our country. And I attribute that to George W. Bush and his father. It just happens to be that they made the worst decisions when they came in. And so,
I don't know. Do you think that the first Gulf War was a huge mistake?
I was against the first Gulf War when it happened, and I thought it was a huge mistake at the time. It ended up being a huge mistake because of the way, even if you were for the war, the way Bush allowed all the people in Iraq to be murdered and all the things that he pulling out and having a no-fly zone. So I was in a way like maybe we have, this Saddam Hussein was doing something that needed to be probably stopped. But I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, I just felt like I'm not happy why our alliances were there with Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, which, but it's a very practical arrangement, So they were beholden to these people to go in and drive Saddam Hussein back into, and I think it was executed in a way that, like you said, that the people of Iraq suffered greatly, but he didn't make the mistake of trying to occupy. Right,
but he did in the way that they did, like I said, the people in southern Iraq will never forget how many thousands and thousands of people were killed because they didn't stop Saddam's, from the air. But whatever you're going to decide, I was pro Kosovo and all of the stuff there. And there's a lot of people who are, not crazy people who say that we shouldn't have done anything in there. So it's a very, very difficult thing to say, when you grew up with an obvious war that shouldn't have happened. That's the Vietnam War. It was obvious that there was no reason for it to happen, and the decision was disastrous, and there was bad intelligence or bad people running our, military who thought that was who lied about Vietnam and lied about the whole war and the Pentagon Papers and all that kind of stuff, was, I think, something we all learned from Vietnam. So I think I felt like that we had won that war somehow by losing, I felt like everybody in the America was, okay, we get it now. You know what I mean? Like we get, which you might not happen during Korea, but it was also just happened to be the worst thing that the Americans were doing was the domino thing and all those theories that weren't true, that weren't going to happen, but people thought they were going to happen.
Well, I think there was some truth to it.
The people did think it was going to be. Some people did think it could be dominoes.
Yeah.
And now when you see the Russians the way they are now, well, they've been that way.
Yes.
Through the Cold War.
Yeah. So, there was something to the theory is what I'm saying.
Right. There was something to the theory. The theory that was fucked up was the idea that you back up anybody who's for your interests.
Right.
You back.
Yes.
That was the tremendous mistake. And that mistake was not made till after World War II. No, it was. We did it with probably did it with Teddy Roosevelt and all those things.
Well, I don't think you can conduct world politics without a certain amount of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
True, but I'm more thinking about how I'm just thinking about imperialism in general was just bad for the world, and so it was bad all over the world. And so, whether it was Spain taking over Mexico, whatever it's been, the idea that we decide as people, we're not going to be imperialists. Do you think that's just because we're in a comfortable country that can decide it? Or I felt like the world was kind of saying, hey, we're all getting better now. We're all becoming more civilized. That was kind of what I thought would happen.
I think every generation thinks that's going to happen and thinks that they're better. And then they find out they're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's the right way. Well, the thing I would say is that I'm really a little bit not coming up, obviously not tying it up in a coherent point, but because it's kind of a little bit like my argument that why isn't everybody's life exactly the way my life is? I've been, you've been around 10 years less than me,
15,
but didn't you have the same
Andy.
exact life?
15, Andy. Let's just get that straight.
Oh, I know that was. When I said 10, I even believed it for a second. 15 years difference. I think the most thing that I'm upset about is that I did think that it wasn't like being naive, but I thought that we had this opportunity to learn all these great lessons. And the party that I vote for, I think in general, has been trying to do that. Like, he would never have gone, Gore would never have gone into, Iraq. I cannot imagine a scenario where he would have been that stupid. That was a specific.
I totally thing. Because I was about to say that was 100% neocon agenda being rammed down the throat of Bush.
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't a neocon himself, but I don't think he had grand designs on much.
No, that's the thing that's maddening about him was
yes.
The only things he cared about were the things that he knew in his life. Like he did fight for immigration reform because he grew up in
Texas.
And he knew people. I was about to say Texas, but I forgot that he did. And so he So the thing is that's also about George W. Bush that kind of makes me angry is like there's sometimes when he actually kind of does come across as a nice guy, just a nice fella, and I don't think he was that nice. I don't think he was. Maybe he wasn't aware enough to be nice, but he definitely poisoned the well with Karl Rove. I mean, Karl Rove led to these people, and Lee Atwater led to these people, but it's been the same Republican Party, I guess. It's really not that different since when I was a kid.
It's different. It's different now. It's totally different now.
It's worse.
Way worse, yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't have those.
Well, there's the intelligence is drained out of it. There was smart evil people before.
That's true. Even comparing G. Gordon Liddy to like Bannon,
Right.
I'm not saying that Gordon Liddy was.
At least
better.
Gordon Liddy was like, "Hey, if you have to kill me, kill me. I understand."
Right.
Yes.
Oliver North.
G. Gordon Liddy had a sense of something bigger than himself.
He is dead now, though, right? Because he was alive for a long time.
He was alive for a long time, yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to apologize to our listeners.
I was about to say, the thing that really breaks my heart about all of this is that I'm going to have to listen to it again.
For 44 minutes. 44 minutes. I had to wonder, who was timing this?
Josh Weinstein is just one of many comedians at the Comedy Gallery. But something sets him apart from the others. His age. He is just 1 week shy of 18. And he's already where he wants to be.
I mean, stand-up is definitely, I think, what I will always do. And where that takes me, I don't know, but I don't think I can ever quit doing it. But even now, if I go a week without going on stage, it makes me really antsy.
Josh also performs each week on Mystery Science Theater, a comical show on Channel 23. Josh co-writes the script for the show and runs two puppets, Servo, one of the main characters, and Gypsy. He also plays the evil scientist.
I can't do that. Dave!
Not only is Josh a performer, but also a full-time freshman at the University of Minnesota. He has declared a major in comedy and is just getting started on it. His co-workers and friends look at this setup as an advantage.
Well, the reason I like having him around is there's no ceiling on what he can and can't do yet. And that's a really great thing about a young person, is he hasn't done anything else, so you can tell him to do anything and he'll pretty much do it. And
this is not only the case when he's working. Doing things for people seems to be second nature for Josh.
He's just like a dear guy. I'd do anything for you. I was in the hospital and he brought me flowers. I mean, he's a really thoughtful person.
There are a lot of talented people out there and a lot of people with really good ideas. And generally, it's been my experience, it's the people that also focus on being a reasonably decent human being, somebody that's pleasant to be around and work with. That, I think, he realizes is really important.
Josh seems to be steps ahead of his peers, and this has been the case since he skipped part of 2nd and 3rd grade. This pace continued when he started appearing on stage at just 15. Some question Josh growing up too fast, but others accept it as a fact of his life.
I think things are moving very quickly for Josh, but I think his whole life has probably moved very quickly. So what may seem unusual for people at first sight has probably been commonplace for him.
Most people do not land a career at the age of 17, but Josh has, and this may be just the beginning of his accomplishments. Heidi Wimmerskirchen, St. Thomas.
How are you doing today?
I'm excellent. How are you? That was a lie. I started with a lie. I'm not that excellent, but...
Why, what's wrong?
Nothing, but excellent was overstating any.
Yeah, you went too large.
Yeah.
You like those people who really say, have a nice day. That's from the 70s, maybe? Have a nice day.
I think that was peak have a nice day. It still exists to this day.
But I mean, just the idea that you go, have a great weekend. I'm very hesitant to say that to anybody because you don't know what mood they're in.
It's true.
Thank you. I'm working on new ways of answering the phone without doing a bit. Hi. Hi.
So how's your week been?
Okay, can I just keep asking you some questions?
Sure.
As Andy?
Sure.
And then can you do the same thing over and over again?
Sure.
So what do you have to say today, Andy?
Hi.
No, come on. Stop kidding around. Let's do a regular show today. Are you... anything that how are you feeling?
Hi.
Okay, Andy. Okay, that's great. Now, what do you want to talk about?
Hi.
Don't you want to react to my bit? Don't you want to react to my bit about hi? Why am I rubbing my... I feel like I'm Johnny Carson. Well,
you're
okay?
Not.
Oh. Yeah, that hit home a little harder than I thought it would. Okay, here's what I wrote today for today's show. I was going to open up with this. Well, you were right, Josh. It's a big nothing burger, the affidavit. Why were they bothering that guy? I don't know. No, who's going to buy that you would be on the other side of that?
I wrote down a bunch of notes here, but they're all redacted.
I didn't see that coming on. See, that's early on. Maybe by tomorrow this time I won't want to hear that. But by Monday when you put the show out,
so
people
old, so stale.
Oh, the other thing I want. Okay, let's go get past the not an awkward opening. I'd like to think
I thought we were. I thought we were already into the meat.
Right. So my question to you is, did you have something to say? Because I just realized I do have a couple things to say before we get into the what are they called? Viewer mail? That can't be the name. That's already taken.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you about this show? I told you about it before. It's one of those Hitler things. It's like Hitler, on the American Heroes channel, which is not a great name for. They found only 2 of them, and one of them took a bribe. So I watched the thing about
to get you to unfreeze.
It was Nazis in America, so they had these big thing in mind.
The Joe Rogan story. Sorry.
Lindsay Rockwell. That can't be the guy's name. George Rockwell's got nothing on this guy. Wasn't that what? Is that either the world a famous painter or one of the Nazis?
I don't know.
George Lincoln Rockwell.
Yeah, Norman Rockwell would be the painter. That's all I can help you with.
Thanks. All right, so in this show, Nazis in America, I couldn't believe it. It's like you go, well, we've come a long way is one way to look at it, or it's always been this way. These Nazis were calling the New Deal the Jew deal.
Yeah. By the way, so would have you.
Yeah, but you're making a lot of assumptions. Like, if I took a gig like that, I would definitely say it was sarcasm. And as I used to say in my act, somebody's got to play the Jew. And then they called him something like, I swear to God, and President Franklin Roosevelt, something like that.
Sure.
That was the level of the attack. And they had a pit, and they were standing in front of George. I don't know who these people are. I'm very, very sorry. I'm turning my phone off. I apologize. You know I don't mean it. So, how far we've fallen? I mean, look, that was then. Now you got a guy like Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
Is he's not, is he worse than that? He probably is worse than that, because he should know that those things are hacked now. If someone said to me the Jew deal, even if I was a Nazi back then, I hadn't heard that much before. But if I was a current day Nazi,
yeah,
the Jew deal, really?
Yeah, freshen it up, you'd say.
Yeah, because you know how over at Storm Death or wherever these websites are, their biggest objection is to something being hacked or lowbrow.
Right, exactly.
All right, so that was one thing. Then the other thing I wanted to say was,
did something trip your current Adam Carolla firestorm? By the way,
well,
I mean, I know that there's the general track record isn't pretty for him, but was there a trigger?
The answer is no, except that I saw him. It was like coming up today, Marco Rubio.
Yeah,
he's advertising that he's interviewing Marco Rubio one-on-one. And so I don't really know how it started, but is the point that he said something out of the ordinary of the garbage he usually says? No.
Yeah.
But
well, I have a sort of philosophical question. Do you believe it's morally wrong to give even a distasteful U.S. senator a platform for an interview?
Yes, it's wrong to give Marco Rubio. Yeah, you don't give Marco Rubio a platform for anything. No, if that was, first of all, the answer is, I think he's a fascist. So I'm not, I can't even put myself in the mode of what would I do if I was Jeff Zucker?
Yeah.
But that's also in the context of.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's also the context of everything, single thing else he does. Oh no, that's not what got me going. No. I apologize to you, Josh. I apologize.
Okay.
It was him
I accept,
plugging.
by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it, because I got a little hot under the hoo-hoo. It was his promotion of his 1 hour love fest with Greg Gutfeld.
Ah, okay.
That's what triggered
All right,
me.
fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair
So,
enough. Yes.
See, what I'm often hoping is that you don't notice some of the sub, because like anybody can pick out when they go, when I'm getting, he's yelling at Razor Blade and Apple or whatever I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
But there is a certain thing that I have actually enjoying about calling these people out. I want to mix it up. I want to spread it around. I don't want to get doxxed. But a lot of things he does, he thinks he sicks his people on you.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything unless I go below the comments. Right? He's like, so like if I say something, he'll say something terrible about me. He'll quote tweet me. How far am I going to go down? That would be the error if I started to go down those. I can't believe the people who like Adam Carolla
are on his side.
Yeah, are such assholes. How could the people who follow a complete asshole be such an asshole? But I do know. Anyway, the point is, I'm working on it with therapy and everything about saying whatever it is I think is right and then trying not to get caught up in any sub-drama. And I would say I'm 75% good and not getting caught up in sub-drama.
Well, that's good.
And I'm getting excited about the election.
Are you?
I really am. And so, you know what that means? Crushed expectations.
Absolutely.
Dashed hopes.
Red Wave is back. Thanks, Andy.
And if it does come back, I don't want that. I can't stand that guy. I don't even know who he is. Harry Enton on CNN. I just can't stand him.
I don't know who that is either.
Okay. So anyway, did you watch on Vice? Very good. Andrew, it's like Dave Foley is hosting, so it's very good to listen to. But it's like one of these like it's not an expose of Dice Clay, but it looks at the whole thing. What was Andrew Dice Clay? Was he a good thing? Was it a bad thing? And when they play some of the, I guess I forgot some of these things that he would just do horribly racist things about Ahmed, who worked, the joke would be, hey, what am I going to talk to this guy with the towel on his head? It was like that level.
Absolutely. No, it was he was like a hate crime generator.
But the thing about it, I said,
and
like,
most of them were just crimes against comedy is the problem.
Yes. And I would say the crime against comedy, because I saw Lorne Michaels be interviewed. What did I watch? Oh, this Vice thing. And it's like, Lorne Michaels, look, it doesn't matter. It's over. He doesn't have to hire Andrew Dice Clay. He doesn't have to hire Trump to host the show. He does it, but it doesn't mean that they're good decisions. So when he's defending, he's like, we're inviting him into our living room or whatever the thing is. It's like, he's like, it's bullshit. You just hired him because he's a big hit.
That's
why you hired him. Right. He's hot. So I also felt bad. I mean, I felt bad for Nora Dunn at the time, but like they showed a thing of like John Lovitz last year because it's like a current documentary. John Lovitz, just such a disgusting, like, she was like, basically trashing her as like a woman, basically, that how horrible she was to work with. I mean, you could say he didn't say all women, but just the way he said it was like that was his reaction to the whole thing. Oh, she was terrible before that. Well, you were terrible at everybody. All of it. You were terrible after it when he was like John Lovitz was like trying to shake Dice's hand right when they're on the at the stage at the end.
Right.
Anyway, I recommend it. It's really good. No, it's not really good. It's I have mixed feelings about it.
I'm unclear. I'm unclear what it's a doc or a podcast.
The Dark Side of Comedy is what it's called.
And what is it on?
So it's a documentary on Vice, and there's a series of them
on Vice, the cable channel.
Vice, the cable channel, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Vice TV. Well, I call it Vice TV.
I understand.
And they're the ones who did that another true crime thing that was all based on deli sandwiches, which was pretty cool. I don't know if it was all based on deli sandwiches.
Wait a second. You just hooked me into a true crime thing.
It was another thing where Dave Foley hosted, which I loved. But it was about a Jewish deli where the guy had it was like the famous Jewish delis and the crimes that happened there. And then maybe the next one was, what's the dancing thing? Chippendales.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they were different dark sides of the 90s. Maybe it was.
All right. It sounds like I may have to go on an on-demand search.
Well, no, yes. There's very few things.
I'm a little sad that there's not a television series based on deli sandwich murders, but whatever.
Well, here's the thing. When you see Dice, and I told you I'm not going to go long on this after going long on it, but if you ever listen to that thing that Sharpling talked about, which was like Rick Rubin or whoever he taped him just bombing at a club. It's really funny to hear him bombing. It's like, it's not that he didn't have a funny point of view.
Yeah.
It's that he bought into his own publicity. I mean, it's like if he had stayed at a little level and made documentaries about this guy's racist or whatever, but he got into the thing. You're pumping iron and your Dice at the Meadowlands. You're celebrating it. So I just think he was like, didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Who, Dice himself?
Yeah, Dice himself was at the Meadowlands.
Right.
Right. He showed off the Meadowlands, and he's like lifting weights like Piscopo.
Yeah.
Right. So, and he's like, it's not sarcastic. It's not like a parody. It's not facetious.
No, there was
I'm a big
there was
star.
no irony to it.
Right. Yeah. But sometimes when I see him in this thing where he was just being nasty, and that I think it's the day the laughter died. That's what it is. It's the day the laughter died.
Okay.
It's an actual thing that you can rent. What am I, 90? Anyway, he's very funny on it, and he's funny in the moment. And he's a good. Oh, the other thing I'll say is he's also, I think, a decent actor, like the movies he was in. So I don't know why I'm saying this, because the needle goes the exact opposite way when you just hear it's his defects as a person that really ends up doing him in.
Right.
You know, that he has no idea. You know, you can't just go, it's like, I have this gift. I don't know. It's funny when I'm talking about a woman, but then maybe it's not when I'm doing about Chinese people for 45 minutes. I mean, it's like he kind of does, and he kind of does come unraveled on like the Arsenio. You remember the stuff, right? The Arsenio show?
Vaguely.
Yeah, he goes on the Arsenio show and he's like kind of cries at one point. It's just crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Arsenio is crazy. That there was an Arsenio, I feel, is insane.
Well, I mean, you know, again, going back to that, the joke from your speech, the only thing that is worse for a comic than rejection is acceptance. And he had both going on at the same time. Yes. Yeah, that's really true. He really, because he thought he was a tough, these guys do think in a way, it's like Corolla. Corolla is an actual tough guy. You know, he's a boxer. But he's like, when Corolla comes back to me, he's trying to intimidate me. You know, he'll go, well, you sit around like a whining bitch. I mean, he's hoping that I take the bait on that. Right.
Because that's what he can do. Well, I mean, he is probably a bully who has beaten up people. And I'm not giving him credit for that. But Dice is probably not someone who
Hold
ever...
on 1 second. Fran Drescher is leaving a message on my answering machine right now. Literally.
Hi, it's SAG President Fran Drescher. How about the day Fran Drescher met Andy? Hi.
It's like Gavin McLeod and Tony Curtis.
Hi, Fran. Hi, Andy. Hi, Fran. How are you, Andy? Good, Fran. Are you doing me? Fran, are you doing me? Fran.
God,
I don't know
Fran, enough.
Well,
listen
you know
to
what
this.
Happens? Is that the machine or someone
talking
to the machine?
That's my answering machine. And yes. I don't know why I still have the answering
Did Judy Gold make your answering machine message? Like Jewish?
I got to stop this. I'm sorry.
No, this is so great.
All right. It's
you
over.
did. You stopped it with your energy. Don't lose any of the gold, even if you have to send out to a professional lab who undermasks the overmasking.
Yeah,
I want all of that in there.
All right. Thanks.
I want all of that in there. Stat. Huh?
Stat.
I'm ready to go to questions unless you have something to say that would top that.
No, the only thing I can do is cue the thing.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Oh, this is very sweet. This is very nice. Pickles says on 7-11-22, love you, love. And I screwed it up.
Wow.
I screwed it up. The only you know what? Because I can't deal with sincerity. It's so emotional to me. Pickle says, love you, Luck Bucket. Thank you.
I don't know. I think
That's a reference to my dad.
Oh, I thought it was my dog.
Oh, I took it as my dad. I'm going to like it on that basis.
Right.
If I find out later it wasn't a beautiful tribute to what my dad used to say to me, because he'd go, here you go, Luck Bucket.
All
Like say it was Thanksgiving and he brought the soda.
Your dad.
Right. I'm sorry. Excuse me for breathing.
B.D. West says Adam Carolla's Wikipedia page lists him as a radio personality. But does the straight man to the straight man actually have a personality?
Wow. Does the straight man to the straight... Are you saying... Is B.D. West saying that he's like a straight man, Carolla? I actually think he's unfunny. Well, I wouldn't even say he's unfunny. I think for a couple of minutes, like kids who used to... I don't want to say... The Loveline people who loved that show.
Sure.
I can't stand Dr. Drew. But it seems like the people like that show at a certain age. They were kids. And he would say outrageous things. And it was... meaningful to them, but I can't vouch for that. Can you?
No, I wouldn't try.
How come you didn't do Eastside 76?
Oh, I missed it. I thought it was because it had our logo in it. I thought it was.
Oh, so you thought it came from us?
Generated by us or something? Yes.
Should I do it?
Please.
Or did you have more for BD West?
No, you go with Eastside. We'll come back for.
Can I ask you something? Should I be donating to Wikipedia? I never have. Should I?
It would be nice to give them a
in other
nice
words,
chunk.
Wait, don't tell me. Okay, there's no negative reason not to do it, right? And
I don't think
there.
so. I don't think so.
I go there. Girlfriend.
It's like public radio. Make your decision.
Okay. Eastside 76 says, gentlemen, I've limited my questions / comments the last few weeks because I find it unfair since I have been able to donate at I'm sorry, there was something, either a typo or it was in my brain. I've been unable to donate at buymeacoffee.com / thought spiral, and I'm considering changing my name from Eastside 76 to Poor Beanerton. Oh, well, I don't approve of that anti-Mexican lingo, do you?
Well, you should at least register that it was in reference to Rich Brotherton.
Why can't I understand the joke? Why do I have to go to the worst? He is the official Mexican of the show. If he wants to say Beanerton 39, because there was a comic, Danny Morrill. You remember Danny Mora? I've told you this a million times. Danny Mora used to book comics.
Yeah.
The Golden Sale. Did you play The Golden Sale?
I don't think I did, no.
In Long Beach?
No.
And he would go through he was Mexican, and he would go through a whole thing. He would tell the crowd, yell to me the worst epithets. What? And then he would make fun of whatever somebody, but he had to like coax it out of the crowd because they were like,
You'd hope so.
Why am I doing this?
You'd
right?
hope
so
he
he
has to coax it out.
Right, had to coax it. Someone Beaner. He went Beaner, and he went like 5 minutes of unfunny commentary. Although I love that man, and I wish there were more like him.
Because when I do it, it's like name the worst thing for a Jew, and someone will go cake, and I go, I didn't finish.
Yeah, you don't usually need help in that area, right? There's no coaxing. Can anybody think of a negative stereotype for Jews? Money, grubbing, accountant, Jew, glasses,
Hi.
big nose head. Hi.
B.D. West is back to say, Andy, do you have a take on fellow Queens native and Mets announcer Gary Cohn? Does he remind you of one of your cohorts?
Oh, is Gary Cohn the voice? I'm already messing up, but I think the guy who does the announcing is, I didn't know what his last name was because his Twitter handle is like Gary Apple or something like that. Okay, but I believe that's Gary Cohn. No, I think what he's trying to angle here is that you're like Gary Cohn. Which doesn't make...
No.
Gary Cohn is funny. But he's not
saying, does he sound like someone from Queens that you grew up with? Does he remind you?
I can't even look at a question without trying to turn it into an attack that's non-existent. I'm trying to defend you from an attack that wasn't there. Does he remind you of one of my...
Do you like the guy? Do you like the announcer?
Yeah, I do. I think he's cool.
Good. That's all we really need.
All right, let's go on. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody. Dan Marsh says, I mean, that was rough. I didn't think we'd get out of it. Dan Marsh says, hey guys, if you could collaborate with any one person to create an entirely new project together. Well, sounds interesting. Who is the person and what's the TV show, documentary, cartoon, or book? Note, the project doesn't have to earn a profit.
I don't think you quite understand how hard a question that is. Create a show to answer this question.
Right.
Create your dream project to answer this question.
So in other words, what they're saying
is... I'd be here if I had a dream project, Dan? Seriously.
Right. So what Dan is saying, come up with the dream project, suggest some people that would be a good person to go with it, and then he's going to go out and
then
contact those people.
Yeah.
Dan, I'm sorry. Well, I'll take a shot at it.
Okay.
I would like to create I would like to create a project with Barack Obama and Andy Kindler's America with Barack Obama. I would make him have the intro of every show.
And here's Andy Kindler.
Hi. Stop doing that. And that means do it more. You're up, brother. And you know what? Godspeed.
Johnny Whoops says, guys, I come up with a thought. I hope that it's not overwrought. I really love the show, but wanted you to know, guys, this poetry thing has played out for me and I'm kind of done.
Thank you. I'm going to give that a like.
Speaking of Dice Clay.
Yes. Thank you. First of all, Johnny Whoops. It had the right amount of self-deprecation, but it did make me think of a question.
Did you notice the actual name of Johnny Whoops? It's a little upsetting.
I can't deal with. Oh my God! Wait, is this the guy who left the bomb on my porch?
At Kindler 1978.
That's just. Come on, that's just a coincidence. There's a lot of screen names like that.
All right.
He probably meant he was the first.
If anything ever happens to you, we'll change that to at suspect. 1978.
Hey, you know what, my friend? Johnny Whoops, you're already a person of interest. All right? Tweet, but horror. He's not a horror. He's a good dude.
Wow.
I'm not high, but I really feel like I am. I can make myself laugh. I think of Banaka. I forgot the Banaka.
Weed Banaka.
Yes. You can't get through the morning.
Oh, look, a new person. Am I high enough to meet them?
It's a great joke. A sad but great joke. Tweeple Horror says, okay, the cake thing. In the olden days, have and keep meant, okay, this is good because I'm still confused. Okay, the cake thing. In the olden days, have and keep meant more or less the same thing. So sub and keep for have and it works better. Trying to eat your cake and keep it too.
Why are people keep explaining this expression to us? I don't think we didn't understand it.
No, I think I got it wrong. I think I got it wrong because I was saying that the actual expression was that people would say, you can't eat your cake and have it too.
No, that's what Rosemary said is should be the expression.
No, that's what I said. No, I may have misquoted her in thinking you can't have your cake and you can't eat your cake and have it too. That's what I was pitching.
But it's the same thing. It's and is what connects them. So it doesn't really matter the order in which you.
I feel better now.
If you put then, you can't eat your cake, then have it too, then it would be all fucked up.
You know what? I'm afraid of going too much inside baseball with this stuff, Josh. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do the second tweet for horror question?
Sure.
I am really laughing, and then that right at the last one, I did that a little bit there. I went,
yeah. Tweet says, I'm so in on Sherman Oak's Private Detective, especially if Sherman is played by Sam Levine.
Well, I'm liking that because I do things in real time. But who cares what you do in real time, you stupid... Wait, I'm supposed to stop that voice.
Not on
Sam
my
Levine...
account.
Can I ask you a question? Is this a joke saying that he's already pitching a younger me? A younger version of me to be Sherman?
Yeah, you could be the father who dies and leaves it to Sam.
Is that what I'm relegated for now? Is just the father of...
Andy, you're 65 fucking years old. What do you think you should play?
Something, but it's my am I on my second act now, or is this my last guess?
You are, you've crossed into toi. And by the way, you screwed up that joke in the...
What?
In the State of the Industry address.
What was the joke?
My therapist says I'm going into my third act. Like I need a car chase right now, is how it was supposed to read.
No, it's not what it was being. That's like, it said, like Jim Belushi coming out with a sitcom now is going to be a good idea. Is that too inside baseball? Because you remember the year that I just... No. Was it a Jim Belushi joke?
When I wrote the note about the joke, the show was literally canceled 10 years ago, Andy.
Was it about Jim Belushi?
And you read it as if it was a line.
Right, but it was Jim Belushi, right? It was a Jim Belushi thing, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you.
But that's not what I was talking about at all.
Look, I'm going to steal the next question away from you. Chaotic Neutral says, hey guys, you got on the topic of verbal tics last show. Most people seem to have one or two. To wit, I'd like to propose the thought spiral drinking game. Every time Josh says, the player has to take a loud sip of iced coffee. Now, come on, Chaotic Neutral. Where do you think a question like this is going to end up?
Exactly. Like I need more self-consciousness. Thank you.
Yeah. What is the best result?
And by the way, I actually take some out of the show, and there's still that many for you to mock me.
Well, from my point of view, what if my tick was saying, from my point of view, I love hi. You know what? The cynics did you find the question from the cynics? Because I was thinking about them. Can you ask? Why don't you read it?
Either the cynics wants to know or the cynics want to know. I'm not sure. Do you think this new electroshock therapy will improve memory more than the Mayim Bialik neuroscientist Zionist preferred product, Nariva?
Well, I know that if he's talking about ETC or ECT, it does work. But I don't know if that's what he's referring to, because that's not really electroshock. But I can get enough of Miam saying, what did she say? Thank you. Yes, please.
That's Mayim.
What did I say?
Miam, me. Something like that.
No, the thing is like, what I said to myself, well, I don't really care much for her work, so I can't get her name right. What kind of a thing am I?
Right.
Am I a man or a monster?
Like Adam Cadola once said.
I wish his name was Adam Cadulo. Dan Wade says, is that me again, or I keep talking? And Dan Wade says, hey guys.
You at least got to give it up for his little joke name.
Oh, Nariva?
No, Dan Wade.
Oh.
Dan Wade, what?
This is a thing that means that I don't really see, I am so like either through nervousness or tunnel vision, I don't see the whole picture.
Let me just say, this is my impression of you. Hey, it's time to do a podcast.
You know what? I would prefer that you did the impression for me, at least, with your mouth open. I guess you couldn't make the sound as good. Right. Dan Wade, what? Hey, guys, when people meet you at parties, do they still say, oh, you're a comedian, tell me a joke? Or if people finally realize that's bad manners? If they do still ask, how do you answer? Well, Dan Wade, you've asked a question that I could have answered in 2019. Right? I haven't been to a party. I don't know what, but I haven't. But I think tell me a joke would be something that people would continue to say out of nervousness or whatever.
If it's a total civilian party, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean a civilian party.
Yeah.
Or like going to customs.
It's honestly been years since I've answered comedian first.
Right.
I always will go with writer-director or one of those before that.
You mean when you go to parties? I don't understand what's happening now.
On planes, sometimes I'm just I'm a consultant.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's the best. Right. You know what? I am in the, if you have to say in the continuum, narcissist or not a narcissist, I'm in the narcissist camp, right?
Okay.
Right on that continuum.
Right.
But I was amazed. It didn't take me that much long of being on the road before I did not want to hear anyone's story next to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I flew for fun earlier in my life, I talked to, hi.
I am a chatter magnet. I do not instigate chatter, but for some reason I am a.
I bet
people see me as their therapist in the sky.
So they'll pry even when you say consultant, right? What do you mean? What do you consult?
Well, it's not even so much prying as people like to talk about themselves to me.
Right. So they're not asking.
And I ask questions. Once people start, I'm an inquisitive guy. I'm like Larry King in that way. I'm naturally curious.
Now, what are your morals and principles about this? What if someone told you about where they cut up a body and where they buried it, and it really meant a lot to get this off their chest?
Well, I think in that case, I would have no problem reporting them.
I guess that wasn't a close question, but I would if I found out.
My loyalty to stranger serial killers is virtually nil.
Yeah, but I would be like, don't let them hi, Andy.
There's no passenger privilege.
Don't let them know it was me. Don't tell him. Because in true crime, they always find out. If he gets out, he's going to think it was me. Well, ma'am, there's nothing we can do. This is half of what the police do. Well, ma'am, nothing we can do. My boyfriend just said he's going to get every gun in the world and shoot me in the head. Well, nothing we can do.
You know what they say, man? The only good Samaritan is a dead Samaritan. Or something like that.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Something like that. I might have
something like that.
Seth Dick III says, thought this tweet might be okay and wanted you pros to rate, review, third thing it. I'm filling out online surveys for hotel points like a Bitcoin miner who just likes the manager's happy hour spread.
Yeah. I like that. It's like a Dennis Miller, right? I'm filling out online surveys for hotel points like a Bitcoin miner. And who just got back from a screening of Gulligan in the Scotsgate. Got anything?
No.
Sous Vide says, the fitted sheet keeps coming off our bed. Usually by my partner's corner. How can we stop this? Or are they messing with me? Who's they?
The sheets.
Oh. I don't know. I don't think sheets are not an animal. That's all I can tell you.
No.
Sheets are not an animal, but they're an inanimate object.
But a bear sheets in the woods.
Oh, we've got the comedy and wordplay too. Hi.
Yeah. No, I have the same problem, Sous Vide. It's get new sheets is really all you can do.
I just had a good image, like a good image of me in the home, in the show business home.
Yeah.
Not in a regular home.
They'll put you by the door.
And I'm like,
they'll put you by the front door.
Hi. It's so cute. It's like his hello there. If you go visit Andy. Hi.
And they'll put a sign around your neck from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Hi. Peter Boyle was nice. Okay, stop it. Stop it, all of us. We went past this. All right, and then there's one other one to go past. And then there's, nobody asks Stephen Elton Yates' question is better than you. That gives it the reverence it deserves.
Stephen Elton Yates says, last night I saw a show with 28 Johnny Cash songs in it. Great show, but it's a lot of cash all at once. Have you ever overdosed on a group or artist?
Okay, but is there a joke there about Cash?
There probably is.
Well, I want to acknowledge the joke.
Ring of Fire is the name of the show. Cash, Ring of Fire, the music of Johnny Cash.
I think that's a little heavy on the Johnny Cash songs. And what was it, 4 hours long? If you take 28 songs, it takes you...
Times 3.
Minutes?
Yeah.
Well, I do. To answer the question seriously, Stephen, I don't know why I got all casual. But I often do. And like one of my favorite people is Joni Mitchell. And I love all her stuff. But if I listen to more than an album, it could drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that goes for even the Beatles. All right, maybe I'm too exorcised about this.
Maybe. I don't, yes, I've overdosed on a group or artist. Usually when my car's tape deck stopped working and wouldn't eject a tape.
These folks, if you need to know any background on any of the references that we do on the show, you go check the show notes.
Yes.
Set decks. Halpin Frazier asks or wonders or cajoles.
And by the way, before you go on to the Halpin Frazier question, I apologize for not having a good Cash joke.
Me too, Stephen. And we are both sad. Halpin Frazier, remember that name? I've been thinking about this, Josh Nandy. If the Spiralers are here and you are both there, doesn't that make it our time? I don't even understand.
Sit down, Mr. Spicoli.
I would have to say, I will have to say that I have to plead that as I reading it and understanding it was too hard for me.
It was Fast Times at Ridgemont High reference. It was Spicoli's speech to Mr. Hand.
Isn't it our time? I give you 4 points for that because that's points. Is that show still on midnight?
It is in our hearts. Justin Faulkner. What?
Thank you.
All right. Justin Faulkner. Are we okay? Are we in solid ground again?
I'm okay now, but it was rough a little earlier.
Andy, I agree with you. Tom Petty was the man. Josh, you're clearly mistaken. Don't do me like that. You're giving me a breakdown and a third song.
Well, I don't think you ever...
I've come to regret that joke of yours, the third thing joke, more than anything, I think, at this point.
Why won't people let it go? It's not my fault, right?
It's really not your fault at this point. It's not like you're perpetuating it still.
No, it's more like...
I haven't heard you use it in a long time.
No, but I'm coming up with the whole new fall array of those jokes.
Okay, good. I like Tom Petty. Don't get me wrong. The question was about him being a guitar god, and I just didn't think it was. And even Andy said, "Oh no, I meant."
Yeah, I meant Mike Campbell. Yeah, I wasn't talking. I only really even know enough about when it is Petty playing the lead,
right?
And I don't know enough about his rhythm, but I assume he sounds good. But yes, it was a misunderstanding. And you know what they say when you misunderstand? You make a fool out of missing an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Faulkner, who is actually William Faulkner's grandson.
Okay, but I've already read the question, so.
Can you include that just to show if you ever need further evidence of how much I was losing it?
Right.
And that's when you went to report it to the doctors.
I will leave it in just for that. Just for the medical paper trail, I will leave it in.
Julian, this is a tough one. Julian Valentich. Why is that tough? Josh, as a Boston guy, my antenna perked up when I heard last episode that you might well have been conceived there. Care to share any of that comedy superhero origin story? Wishing you boys continued good spiraling in September. Thank you, Julian. I appreciate that. It's up to you, Josh. Take it away.
Yes, the year was 1970. My parents were in Boston for the wedding of their dear friends. And apparently they're on their off night. They were wandering the streets of Boston and they heard jazz coming from a basement club. And they went inside, as my father was wont to do, a lover of live jazz. And sure enough, it was the Adderley Brothers combo. The actual Adderley Brothers. And apparently the Adderley Brothers spun a jazz web of love that sent my parents, who were already parents of a toddler, so they probably didn't need any more urging, back to the hotel room for some Josh creation.
For some sweet
bebop baby batter.
I hope I never hear that story again. I really. Oh, that was almost brought tears to my eyes. You need to read the next one because I see a picture of me.
Yes, and that's the question. Christopher Citro says, watching some old Mr. shows last night, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. Is that Andy? Is that you in the audience, season 2, episode 4? It really looks like you. If so, any memories of the taping? If not, any thoughts on having a doppelganger?
Well, thank you very much, Christopher. This has come up before, and it is me at the taping. I didn't know I was on 2.
And the expression actually says, on your face, says, I hate when other people get attention.
Well, that's probably true. No, that's probably true. You can catch me any kind of my quiet moments or like that. I hate that person has a face.
You can actually, if you look at the close-up there, it's like nice read.
I actually can say that it's very, very hard to go watch anything without feeling jealousy, especially at that time in my life. But I really did have fun because it was Paul F. Tompkins was hosting it. They were real. He was really funny. I don't remember going to 2, but if I did, it was because Susan 2. Oh, why can't I even read something? What is the matter with me? What's the matter with me?
I don't know. It's the narcissism.
Too much.
It's narcissism. Let's be honest.
That's what it is. Yeah.
You spin off into some self-detail somewhere during the question.
Bingo. He bingoed it again, folks. It's exactly what it is. Anyway, forget the 2 seasons, stupid. I'm talking to myself, not to you, Christopher. Yes, it was really, really extremely fun. And I don't know if the show had come out by that time, but it was really popular.
Yes,
everyone
it was season
there.
2. It was season 2. It had come out.
Yeah, all right. Okay, someone get me out of here.
Headline Skews. Pew, pew. Headline Skews says, just dropped off my daughter at college in Ames, Iowa. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
They didn't include the mod. That was from me. I parked next to a car with a license plate that read, wait, what? W8WUT. Wait, what? In a Midwestern vanity plate. Is a Midwestern vanity plate a tipping point for that phrase? Or should that kid drop out and become a TV writer?
I think yes and yes. I think it's not. I think it's really it's getting bigger now as a term.
Yeah, no.
I hear more people just say it. Wait, what? And without thinking anything.
We need a wait-walkalypse.
I think this when he says Jay, he doesn't want to say Janus Films. That's not what he's looking for.
No, Janus is really where he's going.
Right. Yeah. And I won't do it because I'm clean. How far away is the nearest horse to your home? How do you feel about this? Well, that's easy I'll let you go.
I can hit a horse within 20 minutes.
Exactly. And it's like Burbank, which is the way you go.
Burbank or Pierce College, you could go to.
Right. You know where I get most of my
20 minutes to a horse collision.
I see a lot of horses at Horses R Us. The most tired comedian.
Do you want to circle back around for that? Do you want to go?
Do you want me to push back
around the ring?
Please don't do that. Did I just read that question? Yeah, you read the next one because what am I? Everything? Who am I? That guy?
AJ says I have not used a pound sign outside of annoying call centers in a decade. I think referring to the hashtag for the question.
Right.
Is it hard to have morals while also being a comedian? How do you handle folks who go beyond trying to rise up by sucking up, but try to babysit criminals?
don't get the part at the end, AJ. What does that part at the end, babysit criminals, means? I do think that if you're referring to, it is obviously hard to have morals while being a comedian, as we can see with Jimmy Dore, or we can see with Corolla.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard, but it is not required.
It's not that it's difficult. It's just, what's the point, is what these people think.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the sucking up, although I probably did some in my time, not sucking up, but I was always overly nice to, like, Bobby Collins and stuff.
It just depends where you see ambition on the morality scale, really. It's part of it.
Is the babysit, right. And I consider myself a moral, harbinger. I'm one of those, I'm just on the edge of being, who the fuck cares what you think? Like, towards me.
Yeah. Huh?
I apologize for everything of the last 3 minutes.
All right. You can make it all up by reading Richard Cole's question.
You know what's amazing?
Without a mistake.
Oh, God. You know what happened?
You touched something.
I touched something. It's exactly what happened. It's exactly what went on in my mind. I touched something without having any knowledge of what it was. Okay. Richard Cole says, I like that it's my smooth back end. No, I didn't touch, because that's the thing. I should have learned by now that when I do touch something, learn how to get back to where you were.
Right.
It shouldn't be like, oh no. Richard Cole.
You should have an internal Command Z.
Exactly. Hey, it's like, what is my inner, I'm going to use that a lot more. I always say, like, I work a lot in the stand-up space.
Sure.
Then I'm also going to say I'm working a lot with my inner thing. I forgot the bit. I forgot the topic. I'm a bit of a cheapskate. He's not from, Richard Cole says, I'm a bit of a cheapskate. He's not from, right now I'm drinking discount brand coffee. Oh, that costs $6.99 for 2 pounds. What do you buy based on price? Because the popular name brand product isn't worth the extra cost. Well, there's tons of okay generic products, right?
Yeah. Which ones do you buy?
If I'm rolling in it, getting a lot of residuals, I just say, give me Brillo, give me I get nervous if it's like, I enjoy Excedrin. I get nervous if it's CVS Excedrin. I'm worried, but that's probably.
I'm the same. Here, my basic policy is, if there's any, if the brand name has a R&D department.
Yes.
Like if it's, usually if it has to deal with plastics, and they're going to be in advance, or detergents, things like that. I'm like, no, I want the name brand, because they're the ones at the cutting edge. They're the ones at the leading edge of this technology.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Where these generics are just lagging in their tech.
I think you're making a point.
I think the last generic thing I bought, and I'm really snooty about generics, I have to say. I really will not go store brand very often. But I think brown rice was the last thing I bought.
The whole thing sounds depressing. First of all, you went brown rice, which it was like, that's what my dietitian
I think it's just, I want my expectations to be met when I buy something. That I don't want to have something as streamlined a process as mayonnaise getting in my way.
I think I just bought into whatever you want to call it, propaganda. It's like, I would often say, Susan, did you buy the bargain brand? And it's so built into me.
Right.
It goes deep down.
But I genuinely believe generally that a generic garbage bag is going to be worse than the Glad.
That I do think is absolutely true, because Susan says Glad makes you happy, and that's all I have to remember.
That's all you need to know.
And I think that is true. Well, it's also when you get below a certain price point, like you go, I paid 35 cents for 500 kitchen bags, and they're falling apart.
They're shit.
You know?
Yes. So now I have more shit.
Honey, don't put anything wet in there or heavy.
Only use these to throw away styrofoam peanuts, honey.
We have a good comedy thing going here. I'm Fibber McGee, and you're like, when did Molly pass away?
Fibber McGee and Costello.
I think we have only one more question, unless you have other things to do.
I don't know. I just clicked, and it looks like there is only one more. Yeah. Hold on one sec. John Dunbar says Bill Burr was a guest on Sam Morrill's We Might Be Drunk podcast. He mentioned that one of the greatest things he saw on TV before he was a comic was Andy taking down Robin Williams. Ended the bit with Jumanji. Have either of you seen his newest Netflix special?
No, I have not, but I think if that's what he's referring to, three people have told me, so I'm going to listen to this. He says nice things about me, and I, as you know, as a narcissist, that gets me going.
Yes, and that makes him a better comic.
Yeah, I have not seen this. He has made me laugh.
Yeah,
and I'm a fan. And I enjoy his comedy, and but I have not seen the newest Netflix.
I like him too, and he occupies a really fragile space in terms of he's done a very good job of not becoming Dennis Leary or Dice or not become or going the other way. He's done a very good job of carving out his own particular niche. That's in the that sort of pantheon of sort of larger than life sneering comics. And yet, he's made
me laugh.
And yet,
too.
He's not a cartoon like so many of those guys.
Right. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Yeah, but he does make. I was just going to say, definitely makes me laugh. Which I think is hard.
But no, I haven't seen his Netflix special. I haven't. I've watched almost no stand up recently. I'm in a real I don't know. I just don't care anymore phase about it. That may change. That may not. But I don't know.
It's hard to change.
I don't feel connected to it anymore. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No reason to change. I'm sorry. There's no reason to change right now because it's not happening right now.
Not for me. It's happening.
Well,
it's out there happening for people, but
no. But I love stand up. I'm not tired of it, or I'm not sick of whatever the thing is. I'm not going to the improv. I don't want to just go to the improv, but that's all COVID based.
Yeah, it's not just COVID based for me, is what I'm saying.
Right. I can't say to you every time I went to the improv, boy, it was like going a place where everybody knows your name.
Right.
Indifference has always been a part of the LA comedy scene, especially.
Yes.
Which in a way
sometimes
don't mind.
It's almost forced indifference.
Forced indifference.
Like people are going out of their way, ironically, to be indifferent to you.
That's part of it, but then there's also the tourist who's indifferent.
Yeah.
They say the tourist they go, I don't know what I've never heard something like this, but they're not going to yell at you. They're just going to be indifferent to you.
The tourist.
That's maybe the improv mostly.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of fun to be had there.
And here's the thing, I've been worried recently about all the stuff I'm saying, people, I always worry, when I'm not worried, but Adam Carolla goes, look, bitch, what are you whining about? He's trying to get me going. Right. But I'm not scared of anything anymore. I'm not scared of him. I'm not going to fight him, first of all.
Right.
So
I don't think he's saying we should fight.
No. But other people, it's other people too chime in and go, hey, Ace, I wish he'd fight you. And it's like I could see them trying to get me to go, nobody can, it's like, they're not going to get it from me going, I'm a third degree hoo-hoo. I'm not scared. But the point is, no, I don't take the bait, and I'm never leaving I'm not going to be at the Comedy Store.
All right.
That's the thing I really have come to the realization of. It's like, I used to get nervous, I don't know, I still don't want to go to the Comedy Store. Well, why would I want to go to the Comedy Store? Why do I want to see Joe Rogan in his natural surroundings?
Right.
Are you in the same position, or are you more like, I just don't care in general, regardless of him?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Joe Rogan in my case.
I think it's because you're tall. It's just so hard to separate everything from the pandemic. So, like, the idea that I've just, like, I'm thrilled that I made the conscious decision. No, I'm not going on the road. There's just no reason to go on the road.
Right.
I can have the discussion, I'm not going to get more than a few $1,000s. I'm exaggerating upwards.
Sure.
I'm not going to get more than a few $1,000s.
But even best case scenarios we're talking about here.
Yeah, a few $1,000s. And I am going to be on a plane ride. It's not worth it. And I'm not saying I've made more money since I made that decision.
Yeah.
But there is that thing I remembered, like, it is good that whenever someone needs me, like when Bob's Burgers needs me, I'm here every time.
Right.
And I forgot the days when I used to, who knows how much stuff I missed when it was like, oh, he's out for 3 weeks or whatever. But I felt I had to be out on the road.
Right.
But I also felt like I was missing what's in the town.
Andy, when's the last time you went out for 3 weeks?
Stop doing that. And that means do it more.